I know that you are having a hard time right now.
Hi, welcome to this week's vlog. I meant to start vlogging yesterday and the day just went completely pear-shaped. So anyway, I am here now with you. We have, I don't know, I feel like I'm going to sit down and just have a bit of a catch up with you because a lot has been going on here. We all have been a bit unwell. Coco's had a really heavy cold that she's been battling. She's kindly given it to all of us. I haven't had it too badly. I've just felt a bit under the weather, but feeling a lot better now. Si's not feeling on tip-top form. Gus was off school for a couple of days. Coco was off school yesterday, and it's just been a bit, lots kind of going on. We had, and you might notice the balloons, it's Coco's birthday. If you're watching this in real time, it's tomorrow. She's going to be 13, which is super exciting. But it's also half term and lots of her friends weren't around for her birthday weekend. So we did it early, and we were all, in fact, the girls that came were all feeling slightly coldy too. But we had a really lovely time. Coco requested sausage rolls and key lime pie and sandwiches, and we just sort of did yummy food here on the table, and then a few of them stayed for a sleepover. So that was really fun. And luckily it wasn't a late night, and they actually slept brilliantly. I think they came over at like 7:30 in the morning. They slept actually up in the B&B room, which was really fun. And then yesterday I decided I was going to blitz the house and then have a shower and then start vlogging. And just as I finished the house, I had a last minute B&B booking, and of course the girls had been in there, so it wasn't ready. So I then had to go and clean that. By the time I'd finished, it was almost dark and I hadn't even had a shower. So no vlogging happened yesterday, but I did manage to make my last batch of marmalade yesterday for this year, which is very exciting. I think I've lost count of how many batches, but I think it's 10 in total, and it's approximately 12 jars per batch. So that's quite a lot of marmalade that has been made, but hopefully it will keep us going through until next year. Look at Florence up there, but at least she's not jumping up at me, so it's a good thing. Normally when I sit down to chat to you, she's at me. Anyhow, what else has been going on? I don't know, so much stuff. I think I feel a bit, so half term, and I'm just trying to get on top of lots of things before the children break up, so I can enjoy half term with them as much as possible. And that's kind of why I do what I do, so I can be here and be around, for them, because they are my priority. Just started recording the podcast again. So I've got a podcast, Busy House, Happy Home, and we've had a little bit of a break, but season 4 will be back with you soon enough. So watch this space. So that's quite exciting. And then I have had lots of questions and lots of love about my Ask Charlie members club. So I thought actually we could chat a little bit about that now. The questions I've had are, is it suitable for me? And my answer is it's suitable for absolutely everybody and anybody. Whether you are in your 20s or your 70s, it doesn't matter. Whether you have children, a working mother, stay-at-home mother, don't have children, men are welcome too, if they want to be part of it. It really is, for everybody. And I really want it to be a lovely community space that we can, ask questions and, and bounce off each other and interact with one another. So there will be a private Facebook group where, people can ask questions in there. And it might not just be me answering. I want other people to answer. I want people to interact with one another. There will be monthly Zooms where I get, to chat to you and you get to chat to me, and it becomes, a lovely lovely place where we can, you know, get lots from one another. And I can get ideas of things that you want and content that you would like me to specifically create. So that I'm really looking forward to. I really would love to do in-person meetups and actually get to meet you all. Because I feel, you know, on Instagram and here on YouTube, I've met some really, really lovely people. But I feel like it's quite one-dimensional. Like you get to know me, but I don't get to know you unless you leave, you know, comments and tell me a little bit about yourself, or whether you send me a private message. So through the community, I want it to be a really kind of lovely place, and we can all, you know, bounce off each other. And I think, you know, life is tough, and I think if we can buoy one another along and keep each other going, then that makes life just easier, doesn't it? And that's, you know, that's what Ask Charlie is all about, making life easier. So I'm really excited about that. There's going to be obviously exclusive how-to videos, tips and things each month for you, which I hope that you will really enjoy. And, you know, I can tailor those as well through our monthly Zooms and through chatting. I can get ideas of specific content, so that is really great. The other question is it a paid membership? And yes, it is going to be a paid membership. There's going to be a few different options: monthly, digital, printed, which there'll be more on that coming later, which I'm really excited about. And then there's an option for annual as well. So, you know, different options for you. And I've mentioned before that I've ummed and ahed about doing my membership for quite a long time. But prior to that, I was thinking about setting up Patreon. I never know whether to say Patreon. I think it's Patreon. And quite a lot of YouTubers and podcasters use that platform. And actually, I had it all set up and ready to go. And it was like ready to go. It was a couple of years ago, end of May, beginning of June. And I knew that summer I was taking August off, and it felt wrong for me to put that out, knowing I was about to have a month off. And then actually when I came back in September, I had my Christmas course and other things, and I just didn't feel, there was something just saying, no, don't do it. I don't know why. And Patreon works in various different ways. So you can pay a monthly amount to support you know, a podcast or a YouTube channel that you really like, and to you know, help them, because I don't earn money from the content that I create. Occasionally, I think I've had 2 paid partnership deals where I've actually physically earned money. Occasionally I get things gifted, and I earn a tiny amount from my YouTube videos. I mean, absolutely tiny. And so, you know, I do need to earn, and being, you know, really kind of open and transparent with you, I do need to earn to keep going with what I'm doing. And so for me, creating the Members Club was a great way for me to do that, but a great way for you guys to get more from me, but a wonderful kind of community feel. So hopefully, you know, that makes sense and has answered those questions. But I'm really excited about it, and I've had such lovely response so far on it, which is really amazing. So a huge thank you for all of those kind of lovely messages and good luck wishes with it. I appreciate and have read every single one, so thank you. Then on other notes, sofa, I'm pointing in the wrong place. Let's chat about that. So, the sofa. Last night I was making marmalade, and hold that thought for a tick. Back with you. Yes, so I was standing at the kitchen island making marmalade, and Si said to me, how's the sofa growing on you, the green colour? And I said, well, I don't love it, darling, if I'm honest. And I said, I have found a company that do covers for IKEA sofas. And actually it's one of you that told me about this company, and I will in a moment get their details and show you, because I got some fabric samples. I said, I found this company that does covers for IKEA sofas in different fabrics and different colours, and I have found a colour that I really like. And we were sort of just discussing that. And then Coco piped up and said, I don't really like this sofa in here. And so I turned around and said, well, why don't we move the sofa that's in the drawing room in here and put that one in there? And so we discussed it for a while, and there were sort of various things. So the IKEA sofa is a great sofa. It's comfy enough. It's not as comfy as the sofa that we had before, which was super comfortable. You know, it was a bed, and we used it as a bed, and that's sort of one of the things. So Simon likes to use the drawing room as a kind of quiet space. He has got his phones in there, he has his briefcase in there when he's not in the office, and he often works in there. And if we have people to stay, we don't have a spare bedroom if we've got B&Bs. So we have a sofa bed, this sofa bed, which I had in a flat in London when we moved down here. And so this is quite long-winded. You didn't ask for this, but anyway, I'm telling you. People will stay in the drawing room on the sofa bed. However, Simon gets a bit grumpy about it because he likes to go in there for his quiet space. And so anyway, so we decided that we would try swapping the sofas. And actually, I think this works really well. So the IKEA sofa was a little bit higher and a bit longer than this one. This is just a two-seater and it's sofa bed. And it's not really used in there apart from the occasional time somebody comes to stay and we use that room as a bedroom. But often people would sleep on the other sofa in here, like my brother, things like that. He loved that sofa as a bed, but he could use this as a bed. And anyway, I'm really waffling, but we've swapped them over. I am going to get the IKEA beige sofa covers, which will work in there better than the green. So I'm going to do that at some point, and I'm going to leave this as it is at the moment. It doesn't need recovering. It may get dirty, but actually these covers come off and wash, so that will be fine. And I think it looks better. There's more space for the dining table as well, which is good. And it's lower, so it's not such a kind of block of green that it was before. And I say green, it's more of a teal. It's a bluey green, and it's quite a strong colour. And I'm going to go and get those fabric samples to show you what I was going to go with. Yeah, because we might still do it. I don't know. It's all about switching things up and moving things around. So last night Si said, well, shall we swap the sofas round? And I said, yeah, okay. And he said, well, let's do it now. I mean, I love the expression, there's no time like the present, just crack on and do it. But actually, mid-marmalade making at 9 o'clock on a Monday evening, I had not planned on rearranging the house. But anyway, we did. And I think it works quite well. So this company, Benz, which is thanks to one of you guys, makes these sofa covers. And so I selected the greens. And this one, which is called Rosemary, is actually the colour that I was going to go for. Yes, which I think is a really lovely colour. But I think they're £599. And so, you know, that's quite a big expense as to the £190 for the beige sofa cover from IKEA. So it feels like quite a long-winded sofa saga that probably hasn't finished yet, but bear with. Things move, things change, things happen and evolve, but so far, and I will show you this, there's quite a lot of stuff going on as well. There's birthday things and balloons, and it feels like a bit of a madhouse here at the moment, and I've got a whole load of marmalade jars on the kitchen island that need to be packed away and taken out to the garage where I store them. But anyway, I'm going to take you and just show you this new setup. So this is the cream sofa. The dog's over there. Actually need to light the fire because it's actually quite cold today, but forgive all of the stuff over there, my tripod. But this is how it's looking, and it's a sofa bed, so it works quite well. So we will just see. Hoping to redecorate in here because those walls are pretty filthy, as is that awful mark above the TV. Okay, goes birthday balloons. This one's come to join for a snuggle. So the other thing that's been going on, which has waylaid me a little bit this morning, is the internet situ. So last week I told you that I'd been really clever and I had plugged the other system into that router, and it spread all around the house, and it worked amazingly, and it was wonderful and it was incredible. And 24 hours later, it stopped working. And I unplugged everything and I tried everything and it just wasn't happy. So Simon came back this morning after he took Coco to school. I did Gus's school run. And we spent a couple of hours talking to our provider and going through all of that rigmarole. So that waylaid me a little bit this morning. And then I had my podcast recording and feel like the day has massively run away with me. So we are back to the kind of current previous Wi-Fi situ. But hopefully it will be worth the wait and we will get it sorted for once and for all. It's so frustrating. But at the moment, for good internet, I need to go and stand right next to the router and then it works. But they're just configuring a new router and they're sending that down, which hopefully will work better. But on good news, over in the B&B, the Wi-Fi works brilliantly. So that is hardwired in, which is excellent. So that is good news. I am going to go and take the dogs for a walk now, and then I need to do a little bit of cooking. But I thought I'd just sort of sit down and have a little bit of a catch up with you because I just have a feeling that this week is not going to go to plan, and I had planned to do a whole load of batch cooking, to have a whole load of work done, to be super organized. And I know it's still like technically the beginning part of the week, but tomorrow is match day, so that's basically half a day. Thursday I am going to see Wendy for my monthly facial, which is always good. And actually I saw a friend a couple of days ago and she was like, Charlie, your skin is looking amazing. And I think, it really is down to Wendy. The pigmentation is so much better and I feel a lot more confident. So I am sticking with my monthly facials with Wendy for the foreseeable future. So I've got that on Thursday, and then it's Friday, and then it's Coco's birthday and half term, and Coco wants it's going to be fine. I say a slightly challenging cake. It is slightly, but it's not. I mean, it's not like a 2-second cake. It's slightly more elaborate. It involves a little bit more time. We've got this thing, when it's the children's birthday, they say what their favourite food that they would like to eat and what type of birthday cake. And this started when they were sort of old enough to kind of tell me, I suppose. So Archie was, I think for his second birthday, I made him a tractor. So he was completely obsessed with tractors. And then one year I did a fire engine, and then he was into kind of knights and castles. So I made a Knight's cake, and Coco was into Frozen, so she got a Frozen cake, and she was into Barbies, so I did Barbie cake. And so we just got this thing that the children tell me what kind of cake they'd like. I mean, they might just say, I want a chocolate cake, or I would like a vanilla cake, or I would like this cake or that cake. Or they might be a little bit more specific. Coco has been a little bit more specific. It's not too taxing. I mean, and I don't know how I did it when they were tiny. Like, the cakes would take me like 6 or 7 hours to decorate. Where did I find that time? But actually, they went, I could get them all into bed by 6:30. And so then I would have, from then until the cake was finished, without being interrupted, apart from, having to feed my husband, but actually I'd get him to cook, or I would have done something super, super easy. Or, to be honest, I would have eaten with the children and he'd fend for himself when I was constructing and making cakes. But this cake is definitely not going to take 5 or 6 hours to decorate, but it's not something I can whip up in a complete and utter flash. So I am already feeling like this week is running away with me. Do you feel like that sometimes, when you just think, oh goodness, it's just not going completely to plan? And the lovely lady that helps with the ironing hasn't been. So the mountain of ironing, if I showed you, you would feel my pain. It's scary. It's really, really, really unbelievably scary. There's currently 6 sets of bed sheets in there, and about, I don't know, probably 10 of Simon's shirts, and he's going to say to me any second, darling, I don't have a shirt to wear. So tonight's mission, little Miss Florence, is to tackle the ironing. So I just put something on the TV or a YouTube video or a podcast, and I just blitz away, and we need to tackle that, because the last night and the night before were marmalade making, but now that is done. It's done. And I didn't want to put oranges in the freezer, because you can freeze fill oranges. But I knew if I put them in the freezer that they weren't likely to come back out. Like, I'm not very good. I'm better at doing things in the moment than out of season. I mean, obviously, if I'd run out, I would have had to have taken them out of the freezer. But I didn't want to put them in the freezer. And I knew that if I didn't crack on and do them, then they might start to go over. And that would have been heartbreaking, because it's actually been very difficult to get hold of Seville oranges this year. There seems to have been a massive shortage. And so the last 2 batches. So, well, before I went to Scotland, I was in the greengrocers and saw they had Seville oranges and said, great, you've still got them. I'm not going to buy any now because I'm about to head, was it Scotland? Because I didn't even know I was going to Scotland. I think it was when actually Norfolk. It was a trip before. It was a Norfolk trip. I'm not going to buy them because I'm going away and I won't have time to make them. So I'll get them when I come back. And on the Friday, the day before I went to Scotland, I went to get them. So like 3 days later, and they were out. Everywhere was out as Seville oranges, and I panicked. I went onto Ocado and they had them. So I did an Ocado shop, and let's just talk about this actually. When I filmed my how to shop video, which was a couple of weeks ago now, I didn't talk about online shopping. Once in a blue moon, I do Ocado. When the children were much younger, I used to do it more frequently. I do find Ocado excellent, but I do find it more expensive than me going into the supermarket and choosing things that are on offer, getting a better deal, what have you. If I do an Ocado shop, I have things in my favourites. I'm normally rushing, and I just put everything from my favourites that I want into my basket. And then if there are extra things and I search for those, put them in the basket and check out. And it's definitely far more expensive if I do it that way than if I physically go to the supermarket. So for the last few years, I have been supermarket shopping rather than Ocado. However, Ocado is excellent if you are going, if you're on holiday, you can schedule an Ocado shop or any online, supermarket. It doesn't need to be Ocado. But I just have that set up on my phone, so I just find it easier. Schedule it so it's all, it can arrive as you arrive back from holiday and you don't need to worry about it. So that's, what I often have done. But I had this panic of Seville oranges. So I went onto Ocado, saw that they were there, didn't order, and the only slot was between 9 and 10 at night. So we had quite a late night delivery of all this stuff. And I actually got stuff for Coco's birthday party as well. So that was quite handy. So I had these 2 batches of oranges that needed using. So anyway, that is done. So now tonight is an ironing night and catching up with laundry. In fact, last night while the marmalade was settling, I folded all of the underwear and all of the socks and paired those up and used that time quite wisely. But by the time I'd finished that, I wasn't going to get the ironing board out and start ironing shirts. But I need to go and take these lot, for a dog walk, because it started off really, really foggy this morning. I'm in a real chatterbox mood with you lot today. I'm going to tell you this story too. When I went up to do the ponies, when I do Gus's school run, he boards a couple of nights a week. So it's not every day, but it's sort of 3 times a week. I do the ponies at 6. I normally do the ponies at 6, Monday to Friday, to be honest, because otherwise I don't have enough hours in the day. So I have to be up at 6 and straight out the door. And I got up to the yard and I fed them. And as I was walking up there, I was like, oh, it's quite gloomy. I mean, obviously it was pitch black, so it would be gloomy, but it was really gloomy this morning. And I needed to go and muck out the sand school because they're turned out in the sand school at the moment because the fields are too wet. So I needed to go and do that. And I got into the sand school with a wheelbarrow with my head torch and looked, and I couldn't see anything. The fog was so thick. So I wasn't on my hands and knees poo hunting, but I basically was. And I did think to myself, well, in fact, the dustmen came because they come today, early in the morning. They come at about 6:30, and as I was taking the wheelbarrow out there, they came past. I thought they can't see me, but they would, if they could, they would wonder and think, what is that lunatic up to? I was literally sort of having to crouch down and try and find the muck to shuffle up. But I knew that today was tight, so I had to get it done before the school run, and I was finished by 5 to 7, and there was time to make eggy bread for breakfast before the school run, so that was good. But it was quite amusing, and I did chuckle to myself enormously. I didn't listen to a podcast this morning because I don't know, I was just in a kind of focus on what I'm doing mode. There wasn't, sometimes when I'm listening to a podcast, I find that I'm not as swift. It depends what it is. Like there are some which are, like, get you going, and there are others that make you stop and think. There was no time for stopping and thinking this morning. Now, no more prattling. We are going out for a dog walk because it's beautiful out there.
I know that you are having a hard time right now. That everything seems to crumble around you. I know that you feel all...
It's turned out to be such a beautiful day. The fog lifted, and look, you can see little Maud is coming with us for a walk. Her back is so much better. She's so much happier. You know, they're old dogs, but she's doing very well. I've got Penny and Florence on the leads. They're pulling me along, and Tess is scrabbling in the bank up there, and Lola's running around like a crazy Labrador puppy, well, teenager. She's full of beans, that one, but so much fun. But it's really lovely to see Maudie back out coming for walks with us. I'm not taking her on long walks, but it's lovely that she wants to come, and so that is great. For those of you that don't know, before Christmas Maud had quite a bad back. We were really worried about her, but the vet has worked wonders and she's doing well. She's 13, and you know, she's an old girl, but she's enjoying life, and that is the most important thing, isn't it? I do get lots of questions about how I keep the house clean with so many dogs. So when I get home, I'll sit down and chat to you about what I do and how I keep on top of things.
Alone in this world, but you have to put your trust into us, and we will help you through, 'cause we own.
We are back from our dog walk. It's beginning to get a little bit dark, and I've just been arranging these flowers. They're just supermarket flowers, Alströmera and tulips, which I did last week for Buds and Blooms, and I just really enjoyed them. Look, you can see last week's are still there, looking great, but I've just done these ones. Oh, that head's just fallen off. All the dogs are tinkering around, but I said I would chat to you about how I keep the house clean with the dogs. So the first thing I do is try and keep the dogs as clean as possible, which living in the English countryside isn't always terribly easy. So I do a couple of things. I keep some dog towels near the front door so I can rub them down when we've got back from a walk. We do have a kennel, so if they are particularly wet and filthy, I can put them out there to dry off. I'm more than likely do that with Lola and just rub the little dogs off and let them come down. That is Maud tinkering around. You can hear her going. But I also try and keep the dogs clean. So I have kindly been sent these to try, and I've been trying them over the last few weeks. They're by a company called Made Kind, and they are plant-based, refillable dog shampoo, deodorizing and nourishing. And then this one is a fur detangler and conditioning spray, which I have used on Florence. That was a balloon popping. I think that was, I'm not sure if it was a dog. I'm sure that was a balloon pop. I've used this particularly on Florence, and it's worked an absolute treat. They smell amazing. So dogs have a bath as and when needed. I don't think it's great to overwash dogs particularly, but as and when they need a bath, these products I can highly recommend. So I'll link them down below. And then obviously, I mean, we're quite lucky. Lola obviously molts a couple of times a year, so we'll have black Labrador hair everywhere. She's got her hair tickling me there. But the little dogs don't shed, so that is quite a good thing. But I do tend to vacuum pretty much every other day. Not the whole house. I will do the whole house once a week, and then this area either every day or every other day, depending you know, on how bad it is. And yeah, that's what we do. But actually having dog towels to hand is such a good idea. If you take your dogs out in the car, have a towel just to, you know, dry them off, and I find that works really well. I obviously do try to keep them off the furniture as much as possible. It's not always easy, but I find having throws that I can then take off those and wash them really that makes life a lot easier. So yes, that's me sharing a little tip with you. But anyway, I'm going to put these around the house because I think they look really beautiful. I love the colour combo of those Alströmera and those tulips. So that will brighten up the place no end. I am just making some soup for tonight's supper. Sai's actually on a diet and I'm trying to be as supportive as I possibly can. Him and a group of his friends are doing like some challenge with each other. It's very, very funny. But that's the thing about, you know, having accountability partners makes it so much easier if you are trying to, you know, lose weight or get fit or whatever it might be. And so, he's doing really well. He's lost a couple of kilos already, which is excellent. So tonight we have got just a vegetable soup. I know that he's had a decent lunch, so he can eat light this evening. I was going to tell you something else that made me think about accountability partners. So if you've followed me for a while, you'll know that I love to do workouts for lots of reasons. They just, I feel so much better when I'm doing my workouts. However, this winter has been really challenging. I'm super busy with work things and the horses take an hour pretty much in the morning. If I'm on a real mission, I can do it in 50 minutes, but it's quite full on. And then with a school run, I'm not home normally until 9 o'clock. I'm not doing the school run every day, but yeah, 3 mornings a week I am. And so to then get back and do a workout, that's kind of 10 o'clock at the earliest that I'm finished, and then have a shower and get ready. I'm not starting my day till like 11 o'clock, which just is not going to work. Girls, be quiet. Stop it. They're fighting over a panda bear. Florence and Lola. My goodness, it's like having small children in the house. So I just haven't been doing them. I think the last workout I did was in November, and I definitely feel so much better from doing my workouts. And as soon as the horses are turned out, I will be back on it, and I can't wait. But I have booked in to I'm really regretting it now. I mean, I'm not regretting it, but I am regretting it because I know I'm going to pay for it big time. I booked in to do boot camp with Lee Linton, whose workouts I've been doing for years. I've been on boot camps with her in Spain. I mean, Lee has totally changed my life. I adore her. She is the best. And she's got a thing called Super Shredders, which I subscribe to. I pay on an annual basis and I have access to incredible workouts. Actually, I'll leave the details to Super Shredders down below if you're interested in joining. And she's amazing, absolutely amazing. Anyway, she's doing a boot camp in person in London this Sunday coming, and I am going, and it's 3 hours of workouts. Now, I know what she's like. I think she's going to be more gentle on us than like her previous boot camps. So she hasn't done boot camps in person since pre-COVID. So I haven't seen her for a long time, although we've chatted on the phone, and she's become a friend. I adore her. So I'm going to London to do a boot camp for 3 hours, and I know that I'm going to pay the price. And when I signed up to do it, I had all the intentions of, I can definitely, definitely 2 weeks before we'll get back on it. I will have started getting back into working out, but I'm just going to go having not exercised for a long time. I mean, the horses and my walks are great exercise. And actually, when the winter started and the horses were in, I did strain my back. Colin's muck is really heavy, like really heavy, and they're quite easy to strain your back. Florence, stop it. But I keep sucking in my core. I mean, I'm active. I'm really active. I'm just not workout boot camp fit. So it's going to be interesting. But anyway, I mean, I'll just pace myself and I'll just do what I can. And if I stand in the corner not doing very much, at least if I move my body, it's better than nothing, isn't it? But I think it's really good to kind of have accountability partners. And that's what's amazing about the Super Shredder Academy. you have got that support, which I think is really encouraging if you are trying to like get fit or lose weight or whatever it is. I mean, I just find when I do work out, I feel so much better. I have more energy. I feel better in myself. My clothes fit better. I just feel a lot better. I just have not been able to fit in with everything else, but I'm pretty active, and I do try, like when I'm doing my walks, I march along, and you know, I'm lifting bales of hay and straw and water buckets. So when I'm carrying the water buckets, I engage my core, I clench my bottom. It's probably way too much info for you, but I do try as I'm going about my, you know, daily stuff. And you know, deep cleaning the house, great workout. So anyway, boot camp is going to be interesting, so I will update you on how I am. I'm probably not going to be able to walk. After riding Colin on Sunday, I can actually feel my inner thighs. He's just been clipped and he's a little bit fresh, so I probably hung on tighter than I normally do, and I certainly could feel it. So I think I'm envisaging not being able to sit on the loo easily without definitely feeling all my muscles. Hi, I wasn't planning on chatting to you from the car, but I don't know, today has just run away with me. You know, I think this week is running away with me, to be honest. I was so tired last night. I actually did paint my nails, and I just couldn't get up really early this morning. So I didn't get up really early and do the horses in the dark. I did them after Coco went to school. So then I've been playing catch up ever since, and I've recorded an episode of my podcast with Elena from the Darling Academy. She's so lovely. We ended up chatting for quite a long time before and quite a long time afterwards as well. But she's just such a dear friend that it was really lovely to catch up with her. And then I've just sort of been, I don't know, chasing my tail a little bit today because I didn't get up early. Just has gone a little bit wrong, but I'm sitting in the car waiting for Coco, who has had a netball match. And I actually we were watching the news last night as a family, and we were talking about it as a family. The earthquake in Turkey, Turkish sort of Syrian border, and I just sort of want to take a moment now. I've been doing a lot of praying for them, just to think about them all. It's just so sad. The temperatures are freezing out there. There are so, you know, that so many people's lives have just, it's just awful. It's really awful. So I would just love you all just to take a moment to think about those poor people going through the most horrific time, who have lost loved ones. I think the numbers are going up and up all the time. So yeah, we'll just think about them for a moment. I'm just slightly self-conscious if people are wondering what I'm doing talking to my phone. But anyway, do you know what? I don't really care anymore. I've kind of got used to people giving me sideways looks. But that's a friend that just drove past, clocked what I was doing. Anyhow, yeah, so we'll just think about them, and this week is just flying by. Half term, which I'm really looking forward to. I spoke to Archie earlier, and he's tired. He is tired. He's happy but tired. And actually I'm quite pleased that we are just at home for half term. We've just got a quiet half term, and he can have a bit of downtime, which I think is really important. I think it's important that we don't, you know, there's like a fine balance between overstimulating children and filling the diary with too many things and them getting bored. And I feel like now I'm getting that balance with the children of, you know, just a few things going on. We can suddenly go and do something if I feel like they need to, but just letting them have a little bit of downtime, a little bit of time to recharge, reset. And I feel like half term can't come soon enough. We're all feeling, you know, just a bit tired and a bit run down. Everybody's had bugs, and so it would just be nice just to recharge. Anyway, Cokes is here, so I'm going to stop chatting to you, and I probably now won't chat to you till tomorrow. I'm going to see Wendy for my facial, so that was my little bit of pampering time this week, going to see her. I feel like I need it. I'm sort of tired and my skin is quite dry, and I think this sort of cold spell that we're having, gosh, this morning it was so cold. I've probably spent about 15 minutes, which again slowed me down massively, huddled in the tack room with my hands on the kettle, defrosting my hands. I couldn't feel a couple of fingers for a while, and then they started to hurt. It was painful. I couldn't even chat to you guys up there. I sort of had all intentions to, because it was so beautiful. It was just too cold. I couldn't take my gloves off long enough to talk to you. So anyway, but I will be talking to you tomorrow. Anyway, yes, lots of love. Good morning. I thought I'd sit and chat to you on the new old sofa. It's actually working really well, and I'm pleased that we made the swap over, and the other one works really well in the drawing room once I've changed the cover on it, so that is a relatively easy job. I just need to order it, which I probably will do yeah, when I can. Florence, I don't really want to be licked, darling. I'm off to Wendy this morning, so I haven't put any makeup on my face, but I have got myself ready. Really looking forward, as always, to see her. I've got, are you going to be a nuisance? I've got a delivery, which I thought I'd open with you. You are going to be a nuisance. Yeah, the neediest dog in the world. Ooh, it's from L'Occitane, and I've worked with L'Occitane in the past. This is just a gift that they have sent me. It is their spring eau de toilette. I'm not sure how we even pronounce this. It's herb with an AE on the end. My French is appalling. It's that. And it is their spring fragrance. On glorious spring days in Provence, Spartium produces a myriad of golden yellow flowers. Their soft, sunny, delicate floral scent recalls a radiant, exhilarating woman who modestly shares her emotions. And this is a new eau de toilette that combines zesty freshness with sunny floral notes, with a herbaceous of a musky trail. Sorry, a little bit difficult to read with this one getting totally involved. She thinks when I sit down it's time for cuddles and attention. Oh, look at that bottle. That is very, very cool. So Florence, shall we give this a try and see what we think? Now, I think it's going to be a beautiful day. It's pretty cold. I normally would be wearing a polo neck, because actually I don't know what the temperature was this morning, but it's chilly. But because I'm going to see Wendy, I didn't want to put a polo neck on because it will get in the way. But it may be like a spring day later on, is what I'm trying to say. But right now, it's pretty cold and the heating is not on. I'm trying to keep it off as much as possible. So when I wear perfume, and people have lots of different opinions, well, this is eau de toilette. That is really gorgeous. It's very light and fresh. So I just spritz a little bit and then I dab, but that's better with perfume. With eau de toilette, I think you can be a little bit more liberal. I just don't like spraying perfume onto this sensitive bit of skin. That is really, really lovely. So big thank you to L'Occitane for sending that through. And what other news? So yes, I'm going off to see Wendy. I might pop in to see my friend Juliana. I've decided that I am going to be really more selective over the clothes that I sell via Juliana, because Coco is fitting into pretty much everything of mine right now. And I had a pair of boots that I haven't worn for 3 years. They're just a little bit trendy for me. I've already sold one black pair of boots with Juliana, which were expensive, but I bought them pre-loved, so they weren't expensive, if that makes sense. They don't scratch. And there was this other pair of black boots which I haven't worn, and I was going to take them to Juliana, but actually I think they'll be perfect for Coco. So I am not taking anything to sell, but I thought I'd pop in and say hello if I've got time and if she's there. And then they have got a Waitrose in the car park, like the car park that I parked to see Wendy has a Waitrose. So I thought I'd actually go there and get everything that I need to make Coco's birthday cake, because I need to start cracking on with that. So I feel like Coco's birthday is dragged out for what seems like quite a long time. But yes, I'm feeling much more in control. That may not make sense to you, but it's been one of those weeks where I've just felt like I haven't achieved. Everywhere I look in the house sort of seems to be chaos. I haven't had time to sort it out. But last night Simon was playing real tennis. Not tennis, real tennis. There's a big difference. He's very passionate about it. So he was out and I actually just blitzed, which was such a good feeling. So we're a little bit more organised. And I like to go into half term feeling relatively under control. And on top of things, and I am feeling more that this morning than I was yesterday. And I did wake up early, naturally woke up early and did the ponies early, which is really good because it means I have, you know, more time for the day. So I'm not feeling like a rabbit in the headlights this morning, which is excellent. I'm going to do a little bit of editing now before I go off to see Wendy. And I am going to say thank you very much for watching this week's episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. I feel like it's been cosy chats rather than, you know, there hasn't been that much going on. But, you know, there's some weeks here are pretty boring. It's just me here poodling along. But if you are new to my channel, please do hit the subscribe button, leave me comments, like this video. The more kind of comments and likes and stuff helps the algorithm show my content to more people, and I would be really hugely grateful of that. And a huge thank you and sending lots and lots of love from us.
What's best for you? I know that you are having trouble believing right now that everything is gonna be alright.